Welcome to Shonen Unleashed, our second game in whatever this series is. I don't know. I'll think of a name eventually. Shonen Unleashed is without a doubt one of my favorite games on Roblox, and frankly, I've been very excited to review this one as this game genuinely makes me happy to play, especially with friends. So I won't even waste any more time. Let's get into this. Intro. What to start with? Well, first off, hello. It's me, the guy who hasn't posted in like a month. Welcome to Shonen Unleashed. For those of you who haven't played this game, this is an anime arena fighter with loads of different characters from several different series. And what happens when all these characters are put together? They all kill each other like a big, happy family. Alright, joking aside, I've been waiting to review this one because for once, I have more good than bad to say. Even my friend said that this is a good game, and he doesn't even really like fighting games. So I hold that as a great deal of praise. Now, since this isn't pure garbage or turning into pure garbage, seriously, what are you doing, Peroxide? This should be a very fun one. And since I never get to say this, I suggest you guys check out this game if you have not. You might really enjoy it. Obviously, even with all the praise I'm giving this game, it's still far from perfect. But on Roblox, since we have mostly garbage on this platform, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. Now, that sounds like more of an insult if anything, but it's only like kinda an insult, because truly, some of these characters are a little oddly designed, but we'll get to that. The drill stays the same. Combat, community, and then content, along with an outro to wrap it up. And I'd like to apologize for the long hiatus. I went out of state to see someone very important to me, and I stayed for like a little over 2 weeks actually. I didn't do any YouTube stuff. Probably nobody cares, honestly, but I'm sorry either way, and to the few people who do watch this, you guys deserve the apology. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into combat.
Domain expansion.
Alright, so the combat for this game does go pretty in-depth, so I'll try to cover as much as I can before my brain gives out and I lose attention like a dumb baby. Your main combat tools are M1s, which is the normal punches you throw out. These punches are blockable and do low damage, but come out quickly and give you the chance to start or extend combos. You have 5 M1s in total, and yes, these can change depending on the character, or, more commonly, the mode you are in with said character. These M1s do 3 damage each, and the last one is a knockback that will guard break. You can also do an up tilt by holding right click and doing an M1. This will launch them into the air so you start doing an air combo. Doing combos in the air can give you access to different combo moves that you might have not had access to while you were on the ground. You can also do a down slam by double jumping into the air and then doing an M1, giving you the ability to get the jump from above. If you hold right click on your final M1, you'll knock the opponent up into the air, and you can hit moves you wouldn't normally be able to hit as they fall down. We also have power rushing. Now, if you're a certain distance away from someone and you click X, at least for PC, you will rush at them and close the distance. And, a cool little fact, if 2 people do it at the same time at each other, they will do a neat little clash animation. Now, on to moves. There's a lot of different types of moves in this game, so I'll try to make sure I cover them all. There are combo extenders, combo enders, raw damage moves, rush down moves, auto tracking moves, stick damage moves, counters, grabs, QTE moves. Whew. A lot of moves, as you can see. But that's to be expected from a fighting game. Now to go over all these. Combo extenders are exactly what they sound like, moves that extend combos. These moves are often blockable. Combo enders are moves that end combos. These moves often break block. And if used raw and hit someone, these moves can sometimes start a combo. Raw damage moves are usually just moves you throw out and hope they hit and do damage. These moves usually don't start combos, and honestly, we're 50-50 as to if they're blockable or not. Rushdown moves will usually make you start running or flying towards the opponent, and these moves are almost always blockable. They are also almost always combo extenders. Auto tracking moves are exactly how they sound, and most of the time they're blockable. And if they're not, may whatever god exists have mercy on your soul and pray you perfect block. Because oh boy, the perfect blocking is a little odd in this game to say the least. Tick damage moves are usually just there to annoy you and deal a little damage. These moves are usually blockable. Now on to counters. Everyone knows what a good old counter is, but if not, you do a stance and you have a counter window. If someone hits you, they get hit instead. My personal favorite move in any fighting game, honestly. Counters almost always combo start. Grabs are basically combo extenders, except with the big trait that they go through block, except for when they don't, and that they are normally somewhat slow. And finally, QTE moves, which are basically only on Black Flash moves. Ah, you thought I was done with JJK. No, it follows me everywhere. Basically, click space at the right time and you'll land the Black Flash, giving you a buff and making the move do more damage. And that's all the move types. These move typings are all found in Ultimates too. except just better in every way, doing more damage, being quicker, or being bigger. And, speaking of ultimates, once you fill this bar here to 300, you'll be able to enter your ultimate by pressing G. This will play a cutscene and you'll enter your awakening mode. There are two awakening modes, your standard awakening mode and your giant awakening mode. Now, why do I say it like that? Well, I hate fighting giants, in any game really. And this game is no different. As a giant, your moves are big and bulky, as well as you being unable to take much stun. After you get hit by a move, you just kind of slide away, like you're in virtual insanity. Your power rush also turns into retreat, which just makes you do a giant step back, creating so much distance, and I mean like too much distance. And this means, ironically enough, you're somehow better at movement than most characters in the game, meaning the giant tank who's built like a skyscraper can get away very easily and just play keep away. It's so weird and I really don't like it. I haven't found a single game that has made fighting giants fun, but by this point I'm just resigning myself to the fact that I don't think they'll be fun in any game. Anyways though, your moves will change to awakening moves. Basically the cooler moves that whatever character you're playing does. You may also have an ultimate for your ultimate. See this purple bar here? If it fills up, you'll be able to do the big cool move that that character does. So, if you're Dio, you'll do a time stop, or if you're Gojo, you'll do infinite void. Simple enough. However, sometimes this ultimate will take you out of your awakening depending on the character. It's really weird on who does it and who doesn't, honestly. Because you could be Goku throwing a giant spirit bomb down at someone, and that'll take you out of your mode. But then Gojo does his infinite void and stuns everyone and might even kill someone, and then it doesn't? I don't get it. Make it make sense. But in any case, then there's the Spirit Unleashed mechanic, which is basically a last man standing or last life buff in ranked matches, and one more game mode. We'll get into that game mode later, so remember it, it'll be on the quiz. There's also the blocking mechanic. You hold F and have a bar. Once it goes down all the way, your block will break. You can also perfect block by timing your block with a guard breaking move. You'll know you do it because your screen will darken and your opponent will be bounced away from you. Because why would it make sense to reward someone who lands a perfect block? That's dumb. Duh. You may also have a utility move depending on the character you play. These utility moves can be really anything, from defense moves or mode swaps, or you can even summon guys. You can create walls with Josuke, summon guys to extend or defend you with Mahito, or with characters like Rukia and Byakuya, you could swap between your Shikai and base movesets. So, all in all, pretty handy. There is also the evasive system. If you get this bar full, you'll do a burst getting whoever is comboing you off you. You can also do this outside of a combo to neutralize almost any attack coming at you. Very useful in a situation where an unstoppable ball of erasure is coming at you, and you can't dodge in time. Doing an evasive outside of a combo will only take half its bar, so you don't have to waste the whole thing. And that's about it for combat. If I missed anything, I apologize, and you can add that in the comment section. However though, my opinion on this is pretty positive. For one thing, I feel as if this combat system is very tight and responsive. The way M1s work are just fine in a game like this, and they flow into the moves pretty nicely as well. I will say sometimes the hitboxes are a little interesting on moves, and I don't mean interesting in a good way. But that is few and far in between, so I am willing to forgive it. The awakenings are very fun and snappy, however. Some of them are a little overpowered, I will say that, like yours. A little bit of a side tangent, but have you ever have that one character you really like in an anime, or just show in general? Then they get added to a fighting game, and they're either extremely overpowered or underpowered. Well, I would know. That's happened twice to me. You see, Rukia is very overpowered in my opinion. Her moves are very easy to land and do a lot of damage. I'm talking about the awakening specifically, by the way. And now we have Takasasuke over here being the complete opposite, having a very boring and hard to hit move, and I'm also talking about his awakening with this. But that's besides the point. It does suck that some characters are just better or worse than other. However, I do feel like skill can mostly make up for it. Nevertheless, not an excuse, it is still very annoying. The blocking is fine enough, nothing outstanding to be honest, it gets the job done. However, perfect blocking is very odd to land. Sometimes you just feel like you land it and then you don't. But I do think that's more of a Roblox problem than a Shonen Unleashed problem. So again, not going to get on Shonen Unleashed that much. Now, power rushing is a neat little thing, but I do feel like it's more of a gimmick than useful since you can't rush from that far away. Meaning you still need to get close to them in the first place, and the opponent could just hit you out of it if they know where you're coming from. Now, don't get me wrong, it still can be useful in certain situations, but not that many call for it. Combos are very fun to do now. They are usually very quick and also not that hard to get out of. Except maybe Rukia, where you get hit like 3 moves and almost all your health is gone, but that's just her. So you might not be able to register that in time, but if you know it's coming, just evasive. Almost no moves are unescapable in this game. Some might be difficult to get out of, like Gojo's big hollow purple I mentioned earlier, but that's nothing a counter bases can't take care of. Now, up tilt and down slams are also extremely useful for maximizing damage and combos, and the down slam is especially useful for getting the jump on someone who is using a move. None of these core mechanics feel especially overpowered or underpowered. They just feel balanced, which, me personally, I think is what's needed in a fighting game like this. So, with that fresh breath of air of a combat system out of the way, seriously, you have no idea how nice it was to talk about something that didn't make me want to pull my hair out, especially after these past 3 videos. Even Peroxide could have been better. But enough of my complaining. It's time for the next session, otherwise known as Community. I couldn't think of a funny transition, so, here's a bomb, I guess. Now, I'd like to start Community with the fact that I actually not experienced any pronounced verbal abuse in this game, at least not that I can remember. Sure, I remember a ranked match here and there where I might have been told off for simply playing the game, but other than that, that's really about it. The community is mostly nice, and I can think of a few of the reasons why it might be on the nicer side. Now, let me preface this by saying that the community is certainly not a saint, but it is miles above Peroxide in any Battlegrounds experience I've encountered. The community is pretty much just the average fighting community, mostly nice with a little bit of toxicity sprinkled in. Now, I'd like to say this game is perfectly free from toxicity, but unfortunately that's just not true. However though, with the amount of content in this game and stuff to do, the player base won't be annoyed and then that annoyance circling into toxicity. I'll be honest here, I can't think of a whole lot else to say about the community, but I think that's just because it's mostly nice. When people lose, they usually take it well, and that's usually the biggest part of a fighting game community. How people take losing. The other biggest part is how people can take winning. There's also really no way to team up against people since there are literal game modes for that. And you might be saying, well, what about FFA? Can't people just team up in that? And I would tell you, yes, you can, but it's the strangest thing. I just don't see it happen. Let me break it down. The second 2 people start attacking the person, another guy comes in and snipes the 2 people doing the combo. And then those 2 people give up and just stop. It's a vicious cycle, but a surprisingly good cycle. It never allows for one person to constantly get ganged on, which in a game like this is such a good thing to have. Ranked is, well, ranked. But even that's better than most games that have ranked, and I still don't even run into much verbal abuse there. And that's really all I have to say about community. Pretty positive if I do say so myself. I'd say we'd have 1.5 out of 3, since the community isn't perfect, obviously, but it's still above so many games on Roblox, and especially above the experiences on Roblox that, you know, promote toxicity. So I'm gonna say the same joke again. This game is essentially the second coming of Christ. So, without further ado, let's get into content. Now, the content in this game is fairly basic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, it is mostly just game modes when it comes to doing stuff. You could grind money, I guess, but I don't consider that content, so yeah. So, the game modes you can play are FFA, which is just a free-for-all where everyone goes against each other. Stocks, which is the same as FFA, but you have 4 lives and then you are dead permanently. You can only do this game mode in private servers, which kinda sucks, I guess. But me personally, I hate stocks game modes. I hate just being dead permanently. I like playing the game, so I don't really care. There's team battle, pretty simple. The server gets split into teams, and both sides duke it out. At times, the team balancing can be a bit terrible, because sometimes you can get swapped teams mid-match. Let me put you in an example here. Let's say you're on the winning team, and, you know, winning. Well, hit the lever, and let's see what unlucky soul gets swapped. Oh, it's you? Off you go, then. Hope you like wrongfully losing. Again, it is just a game in the end of the day, and winning is not everything. But it is still very annoying when that happens. But, thankfully, it's not that common. It's just, when it happens, you really feel it. So that really sucks. Good news though, there is more. There is death matches. Sounds cool, but it's actually fairly simple. Instead of winning off points, you win off the amount of kills you have, meaning you need to have the most kills to win. There's team matches, which is the same thing as deathmatch, honestly, except it's with teams instead of everyone on their own. Now we get to more fun game modes in my opinion. There's Infinite Awakening, which is what it sounds. Your awakening lasts forever, and if you die, it does not matter because they stay permanently full the entire match, meaning the second you come back to life, you can just enter back into it again. Or you can do what I do, which is fight a little bit in my base form, take some damage, and just when I'm about to die, pop the full heal. and then on to my awakening I go. Now, there's an odd thing I'd like to mention real quick, but there is no infinite awakening game mode in private servers. Rather, it's a setting you can switch on. In this version of the game mode, it doesn't automatically fill on each life, you have to fill it yourself. Meaning each time you die with your awakening active, you get to keep 75% of your awakening mode for the next life. Meaning you can get it back very easily. A little odd that there's two different versions of the same game mode, but it's not a big deal. There's the Juggernaut game mode where one person becomes a Juggernaut and the rest of the players have to kill the Juggernaut. The players trying to kill the Juggernaut have about 3 to 4 lives. It does change depending on how many people are fighting the Juggernaut. And the Juggernaut has only one. The Juggernaut also gets a bunch of buffs. Let's go down the list. Each player facing them, they will get an extra 125 HP. All moves get their Spirit Unleashed properties, which mostly means they just get a bunch of armor on all their moves. All their damage is doubled. Instead of a power dash, they have a retreat, which is what most characters of Giant Awakenings have. This also has hyper armor, unlike the retreats that Giants have. You also need 500 points to do your awakening, unlike the normal 300, which, thank God, because I don't think it would be possible to kill the Juggernaut if it was 300. And instead of a full heal off awakening, you get half a heal. You also gain immunity to all forms of knockback. Instead, you just stumble backwards a little bit. You also gain immunity to all grabs, with the damage being dealt instantly rather than the animation playing out. Yeah, this is a much more in-depth game mode that definitely deserves the title of Juggernaut. And for the final game mode, it's Randomizer, my favorite game mode out of all of these, honestly. Now, I bet you're wondering, what is the difference between picking this and just picking the random character on the character select screen? Well, I'll give you two differences. One, each time you respawn, it swaps to a different character, meaning you don't have to go back and swap manually. A nice little quality of life thing. And two, which is the more important reason, your awakening bar stays when you random to a different character. Yeah, very useful. Decide you don't want to use the awakening with a character you don't know how to really play that well? Then just save it for another one. That easy. A very simple game mode that I love to death. Now, on the lower key of things, you have a bunch of skins for basically every character. Unfortunately, you do have to gamble with in-game currency for these skins, and you can get repeat skins, which sucks, but I'll be honest with you, as long as the gambling doesn't affect the actual gameplay of the game, then I say go nuts. Even if it's a bit annoying, at least I don't gotta gamble for my main source of playing the game. Peroxide. Anyways, there are emotes and death effects you could buy. Oh, and you could also prestige to gain 5 diamonds that you could use to pay for prestige characters. It's only Johnny right now, but more will probably be added in the future. You can also do character paths for characters, which unlocks you a bunch of in-game money, their character path skin, if they have one, the character's special emote, and their title. There's also a trading mode that you can use to practice combos and such. And that's pretty much it for content. Pretty simple for content, despite everything I just said. I know I said a lot of words, but it is simple when you just dig into it. But honestly, it's very fun. There's nothing outstandingly creative going on here, obviously, which is like my dream in these kinds of games. But even then, perfecting simplicity goes a long way. I adore the content in this game. It's not doing anything crazy, but it's fun. And that is what matters most, having fun. So if someone like me can play this game for 3 to 4 hours in a single session with how sporadic and random my brain is, then I'd say it's fun. This is one of those games that I can feel if you finish and get all the money, cosmetics, characters, and everything else, you can still play it and find purpose in it, because the core content in this game lies in fighting. Going into a public, ranked, or even private server and just fighting strangers or your friends for fun. That is the main purpose of it. And for that, it's just something you can't beat. Something that Battlegrounds experiences can never do, honestly. Even though their experience is built entirely around fighting. I can go into Shonen, fight a bunch of strangers I don't know, and come out of it having fun. Win or lose, it doesn't even matter. No, Yuji, this is good news. We can finally have fun. I will be honest, the things that matter to me most are the game modes and the characters. And while most of the game modes are, well, pretty basic, the characters very well make up for that. The characters are very well fleshed out and have actual love put into them. Even the old-ass starter characters feel that way. And imagine that. This is just the basic game modes you're combining these fun characters with. And we're still having fun when you combine these fun characters with the, in my opinion, fun game modes. Honestly, you can't beat the feeling. It's funny, when you dig deep, there's not that much stuff to do when it comes to game modes. You have 7 game modes ranked, and that's really it when it comes to big content. Aside from those 3 game modes that really stand out, and maybe the 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s, which only really stand out because you're playing with another person, those 4 game modes aren't too special, and you will be spending a lot of time playing them in public matches. Deathmatch, FFA, Team Battle, or Stocks, those 4 basic game modes that I told you earlier that aren't too special, you will be spending a lot of time playing them in public matches. But I think where those game modes lack, the characters seriously shine bright. When you have time to focus on the characters, they're just very fun. Every move I feel is fun. Even some of the OP or underpowered characters feel that way. At this game's core, it's the characters that really shine. I guess what I'm trying to say is, at this game's core, it's the characters that really shine. And I just want to say this real quick, this game has 39 characters, and that's not counting variations and evolutions, which boosts it up to 51, by the way. I was originally going to say this game is the inverse of Peroxide, prioritizing quality over quantity, but I realized how wrong I was. This game does both! So, it just did content control way better than Peroxide. I'm getting a bit carried away, though. What I'm trying to say is this game's content is phenomenal. Again, nothing crazy or creative, but the simplicity of relying on characters and game modes works so well here. Amazing content. Now, time to wrap this up. Yeah, this is obviously a game. Way beyond anything we've covered so far. This is actually a good game. That's right. Pull out the celebratory carpets, get your other celebration items. I don't know, start launching fireworks. It's close to 4th of July anyway, so why not? Congratulations, Shonen Unleashed. You've done it. Now, please don't sell the match and make your game worse like Peroxide is doing right now. Alright, so I've said a lot of positive about this game, and you might think that there's some bias in my positive thoughts. You're not wrong, but that doesn't mean the things I say are any less true. Now, to end this off, I normally give my closing thoughts, but I have some other people's closing opinions I want to share. One, who you met in the last video, and the second one being a person you might recognize if you checked my descriptions of my videos. So, without further ado, here is Cheese and Sonic's World 2005. Hello, people of the world, I'm tempted. You know what? I'm stealing that. I'm sorry. I'm stealing that.
No,
shit.
that's mine. That's mine. That's mine.
Can I introduce myself now?
Sure, man. Go for it.
Hello there, gamers. My name is Cheese. Nice to meet you.
And we got.
Hello, people of the world. My name is Sonic's World. Thumbs up.
Yeah. That'll do. Now, I have you guys here today for something very special to me. A game that's very special to me. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Your popcorn machine collection, right?
Does it have something to do with Sonic the Hedgehog?
You're gonna show us a popcorn machine, right? I love
Are we
popcorn.
playing? Are we doing Speed Simulator?
No, we're doing Speed Simulator 4. You know that one?
I don't think that's on Roblox.
Hey,
No,
look,
it's on
look at the
Roblox, I
keys.
swear.
Look at the keys. Look at the keys.
Oh,
Look at the keys.
keys?
Look at the
Keys?
Look at the keys.
Oh.
Look at the keys. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy,
So
that's
what we're talking about
N.
again?
Shonen Unleashed. I'd like to ask you guys what this game, yes, game, means to you guys.
Show underneath your jumpers? What are you trying to ask us to do?
I didn't even get the
What?
joke that time. I didn't even get the joke that time.
I actually didn't either. Shonen Unleashed, the best game on Roblox, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the best game on Roblox, and there are no objections to this statement, right? Right?
Well, actually, there's like, you know, a couple other games like that. They're pretty good, you know, like
Well,
the
no,
game.
no. No. You're supposed to.
Me
say
personally, I
nothing
like
bad.
Bite by Night.
You see me personally, I also pretty big fan of Bite by Night.
Wait, you mean?
gonna come back?
Wait. You mean this game?
Yeah, that game.
I mean, yeah, it has been a while. I really like Outcome Memories, though.
Oh yeah, what happened to that?
The disaster? Surely there's like a game on Roblox that's like fun to play.
Sonic's World. There is nothing but Shonen Unleashed.
Well, I guess then we have to unleash our Shonen.
He said the line from the video.
I would like to ask each of you a question. What is your experience with Shonen Unleashed? Now, please don't all rush at once, one at a time. I know you're all raring to answer the question.
You go first, Sonic's World.
Shonen
I
Unleashed
nominate
is a
you.
fun game. I like it. I'm good at it. And whenever I play it, it makes me feel alive. Is what I would say if it didn't fucking royally piss me off most of the time. Going against people in public is very difficult. Maybe it's the characters I'm playing as, but I just get my ass kicked back and forth everywhere, all over the place. And truthfully, doing 1v1s or free for all with my pals here, it's fun. I have a real good time. I really do. But some days it's just like, God damn, you get ping ponged a little bit, you get a little hit around sometimes, and God, don't even get me started on some of the more OP characters. Gojo, you don't even have to try. You just like click your fingers together and you're dead. Luffy is just so goddamn annoying. I hate that fucker. They need to execute him on a stand in front of everyone in Japan.
Well, now that he's all dealt with, Cheese, what do you think about Shonen Unleashed?
Let's see. I think it's a good game. Yo, shut up! I'm trying to speak here, bud.
Here, do you want the keys? Here, have the keys, have the keys.
Show me the keys. Show me the keys. Anyways, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by somebody who can't keep their mouth shut. You're not speaking. It's my turn. Sonic World. Like I was saying, I believe this game has a lot of potential to go somewhere. And I believe it is going in the right direction. It's just, I feel like they need to focus on reworking some of their previous characters, like their older gen characters. Like, for example, let's say somebody like Saitama. Like, he's the only character you get the quest line, but he's so janky and kind of boring comparison to somebody like, let's say, like Maka or Killua. So overall, I would say the game is fun, just a bit frustrating at times. And don't you dare ever try to play public servers or public ranked. You will hate everything. Otherwise, I think the game's pretty fun.
Now, you see, you have some very interesting takes, because I needed someone to stop me from absolutely glazing the game to all hell. So, thank you. Oh yeah, sorry, Sonic's World, here you go.
I fucking hate Luffy!
Well, then you're gonna be happy for the next... Well, you're gonna be happy for the next question, then. Who is your most hated character?
I hate Luffy. I hate base Luffy. I hate the other one where he goes Gear 5. But I mainly hate the main one because that Gomu Gomu no fucking punch from like 30 meters away. You could be in a different continent and that thing will wiggle its way into your face. You could be in the middle of a combo against someone else and other hemisphere and it go whew, whew, and it hits you. And it's so... I hate it. I hate it. And the worst part is, it doesn't even do that much damage. It does like minimal damage. It's just the fact that it does. It just hits from so far away, and you're just never ready for it. And I hate it. It pisses me off. And then second in the running is Gojo, because you actually don't need to try. You just like throw out blue, and then you the red, and the red comes back, and Yorick Tenka, and it's over.
Oh, actually, I mean, it does require a little bit of skill to use Gojo. I mean, you gotta...
Nerd music. Nerd music over him. Nerd music over him.
No, I promise.
I'm hijacking this shit.
This is our show. You don't understand, Bushburger. This is our YouTube
video now.
You don't seem
to get it. we're the plush channel now.
I thought we're the Let's Play video channel.
We're the
Isn't that what we're
Minecraft
doing
Let's
this
Play
video?
plush channels.
Oh, no. Now, Cheese, I'd like to know, what is your most hated character?
Okay, you see, I ain't no hater. That just ain't like me. I love and despise each character equally because it doesn't matter who you're going against. It matters how well the other person can play as them. Though I do say I do have a bit of annoyance towards Awakened Sasuke. Specifically, his Shonen version, so his like older version, when he awakens.
You're talking about the
version
Susanoo
of
one,
him.
right?
Yes, his Susanoo. I hate. Maybe hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike playing against him because of his weird hitboxes and his movesets.
I don't even blame you if you hate him, honestly. He is awful to fight against. He's also awful to play as, too, by the way. It's not fun all around. And honestly, I don't blame you.
Exactly. You agree with me, right?
Of course I agree. You agree with him, right, Sonic's World? You agree with him, too.
This is good news.
Now, I do have one more question for you guys. Well, what is your favorite character? You pick one.
I pick one?
You pick one.
I pick one. You hear this, Cheese?
No, I can't pick one. I have too many mains.
Well, I mean, I guess if I can only pick one, I have to make it count, right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Pull up the clip of Jotaro blocking over and over again. I hate playing as Jotaro, but man, when he blocks, it is the funniest stuff to see.
That's certainly a reason, but you know, to each
I
their
I
own.
never see that. Show me the clip.
You can't see it, Cheese. What am I showing you?
You're not gonna email me the clip that you totally have already?
I'm
You have
making
it
him
already.
do more work.
Cinder blocked.
Ah!
Now, Cheese, what would be your favorite character then?
Okay, currently my favorite character to play as right now is Ace from One Piece. You know, Luffy's older brother.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
reasons why I like playing him. I feel like he's a perfect balance between a character you have to think with and a character that has moves that are pretty overpowered and you can just use and it's not that complicated. His awakening form is also relatively balanced except for his form move. His ultimate form move is really busted. And I also think his skins are pretty cool. I especially love his Luigi skin specifically. Let's just say a certain someone hates Mario and everything related to Mario.
Sorry, I got hit in the head with a cinder block. What are we talking about again?
Mario.
Ah!
Well, thank you guys for coming on to this interview. This has been very productive and talking about the best game on Roblox, Shonen Unleashed. I'll make sure to put a little thing in the description for Sonic's World's YouTube channel. And Cheese might not have a YouTube channel, but either way, show him some love in the comments. Say we love Cheese.
You said you'd revive my channel with blood magic.
I didn't say any of that.
Yeah,
You-
you did. You said I have to like surround myself with my murder drones plushes, and you were gonna perform a blood rite, and I was gonna get my channel back.
You made those words up. He's
You
going
would
back.
donate me subscribers.
Ah, I can donate you Starburst, sure. I got that.
Starburst?
Exactly.
Starburst.
You'll do that,
I'll
right?
do that. I'll do that.
Good. Just how I planned.
Hey, you guys like Death Note?
Well, that was fun, and I'm happy I was able to get their opinions on this game, because they're very nice people. After all, this is one of the top games on Roblox I play with them. But, anywho, that's all for this video. Tune in for next time for a different style of video that hopefully won't take me as long. I'll be playing a certain game with the two guys that made appearances in this video, so expect some fun with all three of us. See you guys in the next one.